G'day, I'm Kevin Young. I'm Australia's most successful property investor, but I started out poor and I'm constantly being asked, how do you do it? How do you get there? You ask me, I'll give you the solutions. Between us, we'll make you wealthy.
Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask Kevin Young. I'm Roxy and this is Kevin Young. He is the founder of Property Club, and today we're going to be talking about how to avoid the pension.
Well, you know how, Roxy?
How?
Start now.
Yes.
But it's never too late. I was talking to a guy in Perth just recently. I was over there. And he said, I'm 60, I want to retire at 61. And he said, this system of yours is not working. He said, because all I've got is $1 million. And I said, $1 million worth of property. And he said, no, net worth of $1 million.
Ah, okay.
Right. And I said, you did that in 10 years. I said, what net worth did you have when you were 50, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
And he said, oh, nothing. I only had a little bit of my home I was paying off. So I said, you've accumulated that so much in 10 years, that's something to be proud of, and happy with. Then I thought he might have been complaining about the fact that it was cash flow negative or something. So I said, you know, is it costing you money to hold these properties? He said, oh, no, I'm getting profit on them, I'm paying down my home with it.
Okay.
So where was the problem with that? The problem with that was he thought the world stopped when he turned 61 in a year's time. But the reality is he's going to live for another 30 years. He'll go through properties doubling and then doubling again and then doubling again in the next 30 years. So the average property that he's got now that's worth might be $500,000 will be worth more like $4 million.
Yeah.
So what he's got to do is keep on accumulating and divest away from Perth. He's already in Perth with a couple of properties to other areas around the country. Now the big thing is people are faced with diversification and they know it's necessary and know it's vital.
Yes.
But they're too afraid to because you don't know what's happening in other states. And you don't know how to manage those properties in other states. And that's the big advantage the club has got. We've got infrastructure all the way around Australia and we can look after those properties and make sure they're tenanted all the time and no extended vacancies which can bankrupt you.
Yes.
And then we can keep upgrading them, keep them looking good. So there you go.
We went to the public and we asked them what it's like to be on the pension, and we wanted to find out from real people what it's like, because we don't know, we're not on the pension. So let's find out what they had to say.
So you're on the pension?
Oh, yes, we have.
Okay, and how long have you been on the pension for?
We've been on it now for about 6 years.
About 6 years?
Yes.
And how have you found it?
At times finding it very hard with the electricity prices going up and water.
Yeah.
That is one of the hardest things we find.
Okay, and do you find that at the end of the week the pension money is enough to pay for bills and food and car costs and everything?
Not always, no.
Okay, and have you secured yourself with other investments and other means?
No, we haven't. We just rely on the pension.
Okay, and do you have friends on the pension?
Oh, yes, we have quite a few.
Okay, and how do they find it?
And they are saying the same thing.
So you think that we could afford to possibly give some people a little bit more money on the pension?
Well, one would like to think so, but the way it is, it seems it's not for us.
Okay, exactly.
But the older people.
So if you could give a message to the youth that are thinking of being lazy until the pension, what would you say to them?
Don't think of it. I know when I was young everything was a ball, but as you get older things become quite difficult and you haven't got your parents to rely on.
Well, a couple of things I got from that is that this guy's admitting he should have started earlier.
Yeah,
didn't.
definitely.
And that affects everyone because what do? There's no one looking after buyers. It's no real estate agents looking after the sellers. No one gets buyers together. So the advice there is get to talk to some of our people in the club, our mentors. There are many thousands of people that we've made millionaires, and we make more millionaires than all the rest of them combined. So stick with the best. So that's one thing. The other thing is that life's not too late for this guy because I reckon if I got hold of him, saw whatever he's got, and he's probably battling to keep his own house, thinking it's an asset.
Yeah.
It's not. You know, it's getting older and older and older and costing money.
There might be equity too.
Yeah, we can get him started. And like the other guy from Perth, he'll be around for the next 30 years. So the property he's got now, which might be worth $500,000, will be worth $4 million. And I'm sure he'd like more of those than none of those.
Yeah.
So life's never too late.
So let's look at someone that isn't on the pension and it's more of a positive story, and we'll find out how he did it. And Kevin, how did he do it?
He started, he took action. That was the big thing, he took action. Have a look.
So, are you planning on getting on the pension?
No, I graduated from high school in 1980, and at that point in time I realised that the actual government pension that existed in that form back then would never exist when I reached the age where I'd be entitled to it.
Okay.
As a result of that, I always thought to myself that, you know what, I need to invest wisely elsewhere because I will not be receiving any of this.
Yep. So you've secured your future by taking it upon yourself to invest,
Yes,
so you don't have to worry about going on the pension.
exactly, because it probably won't exist by the time I reach it. I'm getting close, but I'm not expecting to actually qualify for any of it.
Even if it did exist, it would still be tough. So good on you for taking your own steps to invest.
Thank you.
Well, he was successful because he did take action,
Yeah.
but I'm sure he had people around him that was giving him advice. And this is the most important thing: surround yourself with successful people. If you're not successful, you've got to go to people who are.
Yeah.
And I don't know any organisation in the world apart from the Property Club that gives you this opportunity. So if you're out there feeling alone, you can't make it, you think you're too old or you're too young,
Yes.
come and meet people who are the same age as you and getting started.
Yeah.
And that's the way to go. Take action and education. And there's a lot of education and there's a lot of misinformation out there by a lot of people that are out there selling properties, marketing properties in the wrong location, the wrong type of property, the wrong type of finance, and it can be a trap.
Yeah.
And that's why 95% of people who buy property need the pension when they retire.
Thanks for watching this episode, guys. If you don't want to end up on the pension, make sure you come to the club and surround yourself with positive, like-minded investors and take charge of your future.